whatever you do, business, you can take this to any field. The leader must have a vision. Without a vision to say, it happened, it came to my lap, so I did it. That's why we have many failures. Because unless you have a clear vision, how would you move forward? What is, even as I have been saying, a proper management. The management also you build because of the vision you want to accomplish. Therefore, to my mind, this is one area we are lacking. And I'm not only talking on business, I'm talking the rut the country is in is because of that. There is no vision. Sujib knows, I think I know all of the political leaders. Don't forget, I have been in public life for over 50 years. But I don't see the vision. It's a visionless leadership. I'm just giving you one example where the leader says, make me prime minister, then I'll solve the problem. But I would have said, the man would say, these are the problems. And if I am given a chance, I would do it this way. That vision is lacking, and this is something which I hope, again, as I started by saying, with a better trained, better educated, better exposed young leadership, I think that vision will come. When the Soaltee was built, all right, in those days it was big. It was a 110-room hotel. And I would say Soaltee was the first hotel which was an industry. I always give credit to Boris for being the father of Nepal's tourism. Because none in Nepal, including those in power, thought, we'll come to this country. Think when 60 years ago. What is here to come? Well, I'll even give you the name. Boris used to try to convince King Mahendra, Nepal is a treasure house of tourism. And His Majesty said, but why would anyone come here? What is there? Therefore, he was the father of tourism, and thank God, at last, I think it has been acknowledged. I think even Sujib worked on this, that his statue has been installed at the tourism board's building. But he was not a hotelier. He never ran a hotel as an industry. Basically, he ran it what he knew, as a what would you say, in those days, a pilgrim's house. So for him, food was more important because he liked it, he knew about it, than the room and things. The basic reason I say Soaltee was the first hotel to be industry. To be industry, you borrow. You get in touch with the financial institution. Then the whole thing has to be built because you have to pay back the loan, you have to see how you are going to do it. And at the beginning, we lack that. I'll tell you very plainly, we had nobody who were capable enough to run a 110-room hotel at a time when marketing concept, when nothing was there. And we suffered. As you know, we suffered for 5-6 years. And I think if we would have allowed it, Soaltee may have been locked up because we were not paying enough debt. Our debt structure to equity was much too large. Today, if you ask me, I know all this. But at that time, none of us knew. All right? The owner said, let's build it. We built it. And of course, the delay happened. All because we were not clear exactly how we are going to go. Then it came to my mind that, look, unless we get an international or body, because there was lack. It was not just a general manager. We had no catering manager, we had no front office manager. We had gone for 9 years training. I myself was sent, I went to Bombay for 6 months. But what would you learn in 6 months? Particularly when you have sunk that much money and capital, not only your, but the financial institutions also. And I was able to convince the owners, this way it will not work. We will have to get an international body who knows how to run a hotel to come in. At that time, I think there was an interest because, at that time NIDC used to be dominated by USAID. It started that way. It was a part of USAID which set up NIDC. And therefore, through our connection with NIDC, I was in touch with the Intercontinental and Hilton. They did show interest. Then one day, suddenly, I had Mr. B.Q. Oberoi appeared here. Purely as a friend. I mean, he came. And he said, look, Prabhakar, I believe you people are looking for ownership. And he convinced me from 3 angles. One angle, he said, for a 110-room hotel, if you go with a Hilton and Intercontinental, you will only be earning money to pay their fees. If you were 200, 300, he said, yes. But he said, look at us ourselves. Even Oberoi, at that time, the only international connection was with the Intercontinental at Delhi, Oberoi, because that was considered a very big hotel there, 348 rooms or something. One reason was that. Second, he said, look, a foreigner coming to a country, even India, find it difficult because the culture of doing business in Europe or America and ours are different. Our problems are our own homemade problems. So at least we may not know everything about Nepal's problem, but we will know more than anyone else. Third, he also convinced, he said, look, since you are going out, why don't you go out with a man or with a company whom you have friends? Then you go out in the open and you don't know who they are. And he says, look, I have had this experience. They will promise you heavens. But when they come and have a grip, all that they will care is how to take the money. And he said, there is nothing wrong. That's what the concept of international management chain, marketing is all about. I was convinced. But it was difficult for me to convince my owners. Nothing else. The same India context. They said, if you have to go out, why should it be an Indian company? You know, that what was in the mind. But fortunately, the two most important owners, they were convinced with my argument. That's how we started. And after the Oberois took over, within 8 months, we began to change. And then the old man, Rai Bahadur Oberoi, nobody remembers this. He actually came and stayed 4 months in this hotel. Wow. All his people used to come from Delhi, including his son. Because he realized there is nothing beautiful property, but there is nothing right here. There is nothing of a hotelier concept in this hotel. He didn't say that, but the fact that he stayed. And everything I learned was from him. He used to tell me, you just follow me, Prabhakar.